Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Coach Kelly Huang, and I'm here to tell you more about how to leverage AI to help you with your job search, specifically how to better tailor your resume, your cover letter, and how to get started on preparing for your interview. So the tool I want to share with you today is this NotebookLM.google tool. So you should be able to go straight to it by typing in NotebookLM.google, which as you see in the screen here. And next, click on the Try Notebook LM. And since I already have an account, you'll see that my Notebook LM will pop up. And so it is set up just like a notebook. And so here I have the various notebook that I have, and I've set one up already for this entrepreneurship role that I'm going to show you how I got it to help me tailor a cover letter and help me my resume and also prep for the interview. So usually if you're out there browsing, you might find a job. So if I go to LinkedIn, you'll be able to see that the LinkedIn has various jobs listed there, right? And so I happen to have found this one on the entrepreneurship instructor part-time position. And so I can either click on it and copy the information that's here into the Notebook LM to help me get the start on what the job is all about and get that job description. Or I was also able to find it on the website. And so let me click over here to the South Orange County Community College Coast website and found the same position. And so given that, I'm able to, again, find all the information and what it's about and copy, right? I did a copy all here from this position. So then once I have that in my copy, let me go back to Notebook LM. And let me just take the time to go over what Notebook LM looks like. And so you'll see kind of this three triptych setup, the three-part setup. So on the left, this is the most important part. You need to give it information, right? So just like how ChatGPT, you might upload a file. Here you can actually upload up to 50 files to help you better, like I said, ask questions about setting up a resume or get a cover letter going. So already I've added the South Coast, so let me just click on it, the South Coast Community College website. And this tells me, okay, this is what the college is all about. Here's all the information about it. And then going back, I also have my resume, which is now still loading, but don't worry about that. I already have another one that's set up. So that one is uploading right now. So my resume is there. And now what I want to do is copy and paste that job information that we just got. So let me do that. And then I'll explain the chat window and then the studio and notes window. So because I now have the job description, you'll see at the bottom, I can either take Google information that's already in my Google Drive. I can take a website through a link or through a YouTube link, or I can just copy straight into the copy text. So that is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to copy and paste the information that we got about the job earlier. So you'll see that's what this is, entrepreneurship instructor at Irvine Valley College. So I'm going to insert that. And so based on that, I should be able to start querying. So this is exactly what you see similar to what's in ChatGPT. I can query my database, right, of information about, oh, what's this college about? What's this job about? And so you can see from the window at the bottom, there's some of the questions already, right, about the community college. So specifically, I wanted to tell me what are the pros and cons for Kelly Huang as the candidate for the entrepreneurship instructor, right? And so let's see what it comes up with. And so the benefit of using NotebookLM is that ChatGPT is kind of looking at the whole of the internet. But here I'm able to leverage the specific resources that I uploaded and to ask more detailed questions, right? So I'm not trying to rely on the whole of the internet about this job, but I'm using these specific job descriptions, my resume, and also the website, the home/OCCD. The website talks about the college. So you'll see now the information is back. So based on the sources provided, here are the potential pros and cons regarding Kelly. So this job is located in Irvine. Here are some of the pros and cons. Education, Kelly has her degree, extensive professional experience. She's directly taught at UCSD and also at Connect. She's got relevant business acumen. She's worked on a virtual instruction platform. But there are some cons, right? So California residency, commuting distance, right? So yes, Irvine's a bit far from Carlsbad, so figure that out. Demonstrated commitment to equity and diversity, so I may need to have more credentials on that front. And then the application documents, so I'll need to provide those, and then alignment with the temporary status. So this is great, right, as a start. So this section where it says audio overview or notes specifically is where I can save some of these query results. So I'm going to do the save, and you'll see that that information we just read is now saved as a note over here on the right. On the audio overview, we will not use too much. It actually can generate an audio podcast file based on all the information that we uploaded. So if you want to learn more about South Coast Community College, listening to that podcast, especially if you don't like to read, might be a good way for you to learn more about various sources that you've documented. So the next thing I want to share with you is how about writing a cover letter, right? So let's say I say, generate a 3-paragraph cover letter describing the strength of Kelly's application as a entrepreneurship instructor. Right? So now let's see what it comes back with. So again, you can be more specific in terms of I want 3 paragraphs, I wanted to highlight my educational experience first, or I want to have 4 paragraphs and make sure that I talk about, whatever specific experience, right? So here you'll see the cover letters not generated. Subject, so dear hiring committee, I'm writing about with enthusiasm to express my interest, my academic background, my career trajectory, and then my support of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that's all there, right, in the 3 paragraphs. So again, I could save this to the and lastly, I want to have you think about preparing for an interview. So how I do that? I know I've already included this website, right, from the South Coast Community College, but what else is out there? So you can click on this Discover, and so let me say South Coast Community College annual report and news coverage, right? So let's see. Let me make sure to say California. So it's essentially going out to Google to find the annual reports or news as I've asked, and let's see what it comes back with. So yes, I see the annual report, right? I also see some news information, something about the traffic. So let me unclick all the resources, but then just click on the annual report, the most recent ones, and maybe the 22-23 also, and maybe this information about the news, just so I have some context, right? So I'm going to import those. And again, once I have the latest news and also some more information about the annual report, I can learn more about the college, right? And I can also understand what are some of the latest things that's being talked about in campus. And so once I have that, then I'll be able to ask some more query, such as I said, interview questions. Generate 4 interviews for Kelly for the entrepreneurship instructor role, right? So let's do that and see what it comes back with. So again, I think the annual report and some of the news items is just a way for me to get up to speed quickly, right? About what the university is about, what's happening on campus. DEI is a high focus, so I picked that up already. But what else? And then I think the annual report, if you query against the annual report, you'll get some more of that. So drawing from the information on their sources, here's 4 interview questions. Based on your extensive experience in sales, business development, please describe how you would translate this high-level corporate experience with practical, accessible lessons to community college students pursuing small business. Okay, so I can work on that, right? Next, agile business model, lean startup. So again, what are some things you can share, right, on these models? And then also deeply committed to DEI. So how would your coaching and facilitating help in this aspect? And then giving your background in Fortune 500 company, what drew you to teaching entrepreneurship at a community college? So these are all great questions, right? So that's what I'm going to do in terms of saving it and make sure I prepare accordingly. So that's all I have. And like I said, if you want to have more information about the college itself, and if you don't want to read the thick annual reports, I will go ahead and use this generate deep conversation button to generate a about 15 to 20-minute audio, and you can listen to that. It will actually find out all the highlights from all the information I uploaded here and give you a quick excerpt of what the community college is about. Or more specifically, I can even generate a briefing doc or study guide or frequently asked questions. And then if I'm doing a project, I can even generate timeline. So this is what I have today for sharing with you about NotebookLM. And feel free to send me more questions if you do have any. You can find me on CoachKellyHuang.com. That's CoachKellyHuang.com. And also look below the YouTube for more information about the kind of class I'm going to have on this topic. Thank you. Bye-bye.